Olá pessoal, eu sou Edson Bruschi, hoje é segunda-feira, dia 4 de junho, e eu estou em Liberstad, na Noruega. Nós tivemos um encontro esse final de semana de proprietários de terras e investidores em Liberstad, com um maravilhoso jantar, uma banda muito boa tocando, foi muito divertido, a gente de toda a Europa esteve por aqui, teve inclusive gente dos Estados Unidos também. E eu estou aqui com o Junho Holmesland, que é um dos principais cabeças do projeto, e vamos fazer algumas perguntas para ele poder explicar para vocês o que é Liberstad, do que isso se trata e tirar algumas dúvidas. Então, let's go, John.
Yes.
What is Liberstad?
Liberstad is a project to create Norway's first private city, and a private city run by a private company built on the foundation of voluntarism and the philosophy of liberty.
And John, how this idea began to take shape, and how do you manage to start the project?
It started in 2015 after being a voluntarist for many years. I was looking at ways for me and my family and other people who wanted more freedom in their life. I was looking for ways how to achieve this. And after several years of studying Austrian economics and moral philosophy and history, I came across this concept of private cities, which are a reality some places in the world to a degree. But it's a new concept here in Norway, as far as I know in Europe. So it was after reading an article by Jeffrey Tucker about Atlantic Station, which is a small city part of Atlanta, Georgia, which is run by a company. And I thought to myself, this could be possible and would be possible in Norway and most places and most countries in the world, without going on, without breaking any laws or doing everything completely legal. Once one can start a company and a private city and offer this service to other people who want to live in a more freer and private society.
Great. O nome desse artigo, está disponível em português no Instituto Mises Brasil e, se não me engano, se chama Como Funciona o Policiamento em uma Cidade Privada. Excelente artigo, recomendo. What have you progressed from the start until now?
Well, we bought this land in 2017 with the help of over 100 investors from all over the world who pre-bought plots here, and this is how we gained the capital to get started on this. So in 2017, June 1st, we bought this land and we immediately starting the development. And as this land was 100% forest and been abandoned for several years, the first thing we started was clearing out the area and the vegetation, and blasted off some mountainside here to produce rocks and gravel so we can make roads and a central area. So we've come a long way with the central area here, and we can now have more guests and visitors, and we have parking places, and we also have started the development of an event center, a small convenience store, a kiosk, and we built some offices and a few accommodation rooms.
The day before yesterday, you talked at the presentation about a non-aggression zone. What do you mean by that?
Well, this is a non-aggression zone is what we want to achieve with Liberstad. It's a term that I came up with when I was trying to explain what we want to achieve with the Liberstad, because some people think we want to make our own state and our own country and things like that, and it's not anything like that. So a non-aggression zone is a geographical area within a country where aggression is not allowed in any form, not even by the government. And this is what we hope to achieve in the future by having an agreement with the Norwegian government that we can create a small piece of land in Norway where aggression is seen as illegal, and it's seen as illegal by me already and other voluntarists and libertarians. But we want to make an agreement with the Norwegian government to start the development of this society without any form of legalized aggression.
Okay, you almost answered my next question. That was, how about the legality of trade inside the Liberstad? You say that it would, at the presentation, you say that it would be like people from our Wars Club or something like that. And can you elaborate on that?
Well, the internal market is in Liberstad is a member organization where people can trade within the organization legally without breaking any laws, and it's like what you call internal invoicing within an organization, and you use a token or your own kind of cryptocurrency coin or something like that to have a payment method or a way of trading with each other within. And of course, if we make an agreement with the Norwegian government that this will be a non-aggression zone, this will be completely legal, and we don't have to have the membership organization. But in the beginning now, it has to be within the membership organization to have it legal.
Okay.
So it's in a little bit in the gray market, but it's not illegal. But of course, it depends on the amount of products and services being provided on the internal market.
Okay, and what about the external market? How would you expect the economy between Liberstad and Norway, or even between Liberstad and the rest of the world?
Yeah, so the internal market is a membership organization only for the people who are residents in Liberstad. And as Liberstad is an open city, and we want to attract tourists and visitors from Norway and other countries, other businesses here will be just like any other business in Norway, a registered business with the government, and you pay VAT and tax on your income and all of this. So if visitors come here and pay with credit card and want to use government-issued money, it will be just like any other business in Norway.
And now, what about homeschooling and private school legality in Norway? It seems that there is no necessity of private schools following a defined curriculum. Is that right?
Private schools in Norway have to follow the curriculum of the Norwegian government sets. One way of getting around this is by having an international private school where you don't have to follow the curriculum. Homeschooling is not very common here, and what we hope here in Liberstad is that we can organize homeschooling in a kind of a communitary professional way.
Yes.
And but in the future we hope to make our own private schools here, and we will be working on that. This is one of the first things we will be trying to achieve.
And how about the natural resources of the property? Do you have drinkable water here, for example?
Norway is known for having a lot of water and also clean water. And on the land we own now, we have lakes that can be used for drinking water, but we also, something that is more common is drilling in the bedrock to get wells. And we can drill easily 100 meters down in the bedrock and we get good, clean, mineral-rich water. So water is one of the smallest problems.
Okay. And electricity you would buy from the external market?
In the beginning now, the electricity is bought purchased by the electrical companies in Norway. So we don't produce any electricity here ourselves, but we hope to build up our own electrical company and utilize the waterfalls and make our own energy.
That would be great.
So it's also solar panels are very good in Norway. We have a lot of sun in the summer. We have less sun in the winter. but solar panels works very good here in Norway, and especially here in the south.
Yes. Nós estamos perto da ponta sul da Noruega. Liberstad fica a 55 km de Kristiansand, que é uma cidade portuária bastante importante. E o sol aqui, nessa época do ano, praticamente nós temos luz o tempo todo. Então é até meio estranho para um brasileiro chegar aqui. Tem sol das 4 da manhã até as 10 da noite, mais ou menos, e mesmo esse período sem sol, a gente ainda fica na penumbra. Então, pelo menos no verão, o painel solar aqui deve funcionar muito bem. Okay, and what about the waste generated by hundreds or even thousands of people living here? Just sending water to the river is a sure recipe for government prosecution. So how do you intend to treat the waste?
Yeah, sending out the waste in the river or outside is also a breach of the philosophy we have of private property, and we take that very seriously. Anything that is all garbage and waste inside of Liberstad will be handled by an outside garbage company until we can manage to take care of it ourselves. So in the future we plan to have a recycling system and take care of most of the waste ourselves. The special waste like that is not good for the environment and stuff, we have to have companies outside to take care of that. So we cooperate with other businesses outside, like any other companies, getting rid of our waste.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. And on the human side, what could you say about the interaction of you guys from the local people? There's a small municipality here. I think 400 people live here.
In this local community, yeah, in Bjelland it's for about 400 people.
Yes, so it's a very small town. And what could you say about the interaction with the local people? How are they seeing your project?
Well, we started in 2017, and in the beginning, of course, the locals were very skeptical to the project, as we on our website we use words like anarchism and capitalism and a lot of other words that it's not well known, so people misinterpret the words. So they were very skeptical, but now as we've been here for a year and we've met and talked to a lot of the locals and they've been visiting us up here, our view is that all of the locals are very, very positive to the project, and they're looking forward to having more residents here and more businesses, and they're very positive.
That's great. And what about the local government and the Norwegian government? How do they see this project, or are they simply ignoring the project by now? And there's a possibility that they could just shut down Liberstad in the future, or something like that.
Well, yeah, the government can
do anything.
They can actually do anything. But the local municipality government here was in the beginning very positive. Of course, they were seeing tax revenue. The first thing they were thinking about was the tax revenues, because all of the businesses and the private companies is going to come here. But after reading more about our philosophy, they've been a little bit skeptical, because the government likes to have control, and by us making this private city will limit their control over what happens inside Liberstad, because it's a private property and the government can't just come in and do whatever they want here. They also have to
follow some rules,
follow the laws and the rules. So they're a little skeptical, but it's a mixed view. I would think probably half of the municipality government is positive, and the other half is a little bit skeptical and a little bit offended of what I say on Facebook and my words about socialism and politicians and stuff like this.
I have seen there is a post on the blog, but I think it's only available in Norwegian right now, where you or I don't remember if it was you that answered some of those questions. It was you or it was Sandra?
It was Sandra who wrote the piece,
Okay.
but we were working on it, both of us together. And it came after a piece by the Norwegian national TV, who had a longer segment about Liberstad for the first time a month ago. And they interviewed the politicians here and some of the local people here. And what they said about the project was, of course, false and misinterpreted. So we wrote this piece to try to explain it, explain better what the mistakes and what the misinterpreted parts of this was.
Ok. Esta resposta dele está disponível apenas em norueguês, mas dá para dar uma olhada pelo Google Tradutor. And do you pretend to? I've actually found that very interesting. Your reply. So would you translate it to English?
We will try to translate all of the things we have on our Norwegian website into the English website.
Okay.
We're a little bit limited on
time
and manpower here. We're very few people working on the project, and myself, after we established the project here, I have been doing a lot of the constructions and a lot of the work on site. So it has been my time on the computer and writing has been limited.
Ok, completely understandable. Assim que sair a tradução em inglês, a versão em inglês dessa resposta, eu farei a tradução e vou postar também, em português. Okay, and there are still properties for sale, and how can people from Brazil participate in the project?
Well, we had the first pre-sale to get the initial capital to start the project. We sold plots at 35,000 Norwegian kroner, and those were sold out fairly quickly and before our deadline. And we were planning to not sell any more plots until this has been re-regulated and rezoned. But we needed some more money to continue the development. So right before New Year, I think it was in November, we launched another pre-sale of 50,000 square meters, which also have been almost sold out now. I think there's 9,000 square meters left, or 9 plots left of this ongoing pre-sale now.
Wonderful. Well, I think that covers a lot, and so please feel free to give any final words to the Brazilians.
Yeah, what I would like to say is that people who want to achieve more freedom and has a heart for liberty and the philosophy of voluntarism should just get started. They should just not wait for anybody else to do it, or they shouldn't wait for the money. They should get together and start building private communities and do it within the rule of the law, so they don't get into trouble. And when this goes on, it will expand, and it doesn't happen overnight. This project is a life project for me, and I hope to my children will continue with it. And we're not going to achieve liberty overnight. And I wish that people all over the world just got started on this and just start different kinds of private cities and other communities to achieve their own place of freedom. Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. Well, John, thank you very much for this interview. It was, as always, a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you.
And por hoje é isso. Muito obrigado, pessoal.